So I just want to point out some different kinds of fascia here. So this sort of very smooth stuff here is like deep fascia. So this is part of a cow's cheek, and of course cows have very strong chewing muscles, and it's quite thick, as you see. There's a lot of fat, and also there's, well, here's a little piece where you can see this red stuff is the muscle tissue. Maybe we'll use the white one. This red stuff is the muscle tissue. This white stuff is the connective tissue. And we have this too. Our bodies are, our stomachs are different from a cow or another ruminant, but we have similar looking tissue. So next to this very smooth, sort of deep fascia-like tissue, you can see these places here where the muscles are separated by connective tissue. Here's some fat, and you can see the fat is, it's separate, right? It's like separate little globules of fat. And we do have that sort of thing as well. Here's a better view of that, where you can see the fat, the adipose, more correctly, is separated by sort of septums of very fine connective tissue. This thing here looks like it could be just the end of a muscle, or it might be it could be part of a nerve. I'm not really sure. I know vaguely what part of the cow this came from. It came from the cheek. In Mexican food, this would be, if you ask for cabeza, this is what the cut of meat you would get. So here's some other really thick fascia, but you can see connected to it is this fine filmy stuff, like there. Here's some more. Let's put this up in the camera. Okay, here's some more globules of fat. There's a very interesting little piece here. This is this looks to me a lot like glandular tissue. Like in a cheek, there's glands that make saliva, and when I've looked at glands in a human, they resemble this. They're kind of fatty and kind of globular. So I'm not sure what this is exactly, but it resembles glandular tissue, like a parotid gland or a salivary gland. And here's more connective tissue. So there's some more. It's deeply connected with the fat. So here's a bit of muscle. I think this was kind of a random sort of cut, but there you can see a band of connective tissue there. And here we have another really strong tendon, this one here. You see how it's, the lines of the tendinous tissue it's lined up this way, but then there's some other that's coming in this way. It can go everywhere. And here's some really filmy kind. Let's see if I can pick this up. Some really filmy kind right here, which is quite strongly attached to the muscle. So, it's everywhere. It's the most common part of the body. Here's another really strong piece of tendon. So let's look at this bigger piece. Okay, well, this is good. All right, so all this red stuff is muscle. And you can see all the little dividers. Let's use this one. You can see all these little dividers between the muscles. And then here we have a very strong connective tissue, and you can see how the muscles attach to that. We're taught in anatomy classes, or simple anatomy classes, that the muscles attach to bones, and but sometimes they attach to strong fascia like this. That might be called an aponeurosis. Here's another. This thing here is part of a blood vessel that's been cut, sort of sliced longitudinally. Oh, here's another part of that beautiful tendon. You can see how that, or ligament rather, you can see how the fibers are really strong and insert into this. So this is it's just a hunk of meat, but it's a good little anatomy lesson as long as you can tolerate looking at a piece of meat. Here's some more septa of the muscle. So that's probably enough to go on with. And here we have a lot of adipose or fat. But so you can see there's a very thin muscle right there that's bounded on both sides by connective tissue. And here's some more of that glandular looking stuff. And yeah. You might say, well, what are you going to do with that, Nancy? And we eat meat in our household, and I'm going to cook it very slowly in a crock pot. And here's I'm not sure what this is, but I think it's probably a nerve because it's not hollow. So I think that's a nerve. Anyway, we're going to cook it really slowly with a bay leaf, and it'll be delicious. All right, thank you very much. Thank you for watching.